and students. So I'm going to be starting this weekly math video series that's basically going to be giving you tips about second grade math skills that you could be practicing at home in addition to your AMI work. But I just want to make very clear that this is totally optional and it is not part of your child's official AMI work. It's just kind of supplemental practice in case you're looking for other ways that you can help your child in math at home. So if I move my head a little, you can see that the skill that we're going to be talking about today is skip counting, and the second grade standard has second graders skip counting by 2, 5, and 10. But the most important of these numbers to be able to skip count is 10. Because being able to skip count by 10 and practicing that skill really helps develop your child's number sense. So when you think about skip counting by 10, what might immediately come to mind is skip counting by 10, starting at 10. So like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth. But one way to really stretch your child's thinking is to pick a number that doesn't end in 0. So you can start, for example, at 3. So 3, 13, 23, 33, 43. And the second grade expectation is that they be able to go all the way up to 1,000. So one thing that I like to do with my students, because counting that far can get a little bit repetitive, is I will have them pick a silly voice. So they could like skip count by tens in a robot voice, or a British voice, or whatever voice they would like to, and it just kind of helps make it fun. So this can be done verbally, you can just do it together, but you can also have your child write down the numbers that they're skip counting. So I'm going to show you how your child could organize their skip counting work. So if you were to have them work on skip counting on a paper, you would want to do 10 numbers in a row. So I'll show you what I mean. So you would want to start 3, 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 103, 113, and so on and so forth. So if you wanted to, you could also create lines on your child if you have line papers to help them organize their work. But by writing it this way, that will help your child notice patterns when they are skip counting. So it would definitely take a long time to skip count starting at 3 and going all the way to 1,000. So your child absolutely doesn't have to do that in one sitting. You could break it up and do it over the span of a week. So like on Monday, they could go from 3 to 203, and then on Tuesday from 203 to 403, and kind of break up the skip counting work that they're doing when they're writing it down. Another thing that you can do is that instead of picking a number smaller than 10 to start out, a way that you can challenge your child is to pick a higher number. So you could, for example, just start at like 527 and have your child skip count by tens starting by a random number. And so when you're working with your child, you'll notice that the most likely place that they'll struggle is crossing over to the next 100. So for example, if they're at like 293, you might notice them kind of pause and have to think about going from 293 to 303, 313, but it's really crossing over those hundreds that will really also help them in their addition and subtraction. So I really kind of focused on skip counting by tens, just because of these numbers. That's kind of the most important number to be able to skip count by. But your child can also skip count by 2s and 5s. I would not recommend counting all the way from 2 to 1,000 by 2s, just because that would take a long time. But you can skip count by 2s within 100. And another way to challenge by staying within 100 is not to start at 2, but to start at 1, like 1, 3, 5, so on and so forth. But my biggest tip would be to really focus on the number 10. So if you're looking for a way to help your child in math this week, this is something that you can do. And then next Monday, I will post a similar video about another skill that you can be working on at home if you would like. All right, thanks parents and students.